Tonight, the MP who says investigations into allegations of a hardline Muslim takeover of schools is totally haphazard.
In his own words, the misery experienced by the surgeon who turned whistleblower.
And it's a hands-on lesson for this academy principal in how to realise your dreams, with a little help from Gary Barlow. Coming up, the Birmingham MP who says investigations into allegations of a hardline Muslim takeover of schools is totally haphazard. You're watching ITV News Central. On our programme tonight, totally haphazard. How one MP describes the investigations into an alleged plot to take control of Birmingham schools.
The man who says being a whistleblower ruined his life.
Wolves confirmed League One champions after two big Easter games.
And the school head who got hands-on with Gary Barlow to inspire her class.
Good evening. There's criticism tonight of a series of investigations going on into allegations of a plot by hardline Muslims to take over schools in Birmingham. The MP Khalid Mahmood has described them as totally haphazard.
Mr Mahmood believes there is some truth in the so-called Trojan horse claims, and he welcomes an inquiry. But he says that there is a need for both urgency and coordination to find out what really has been going on. Keith Wilkinson reports.
The letter, itself in doubt, that so far raised far more questions than answers. It claimed there was a Trojan horse-style plot by radical Muslims to infiltrate a number of Birmingham schools. That's now led to a variety of inquiries into those allegations. Ofsted's Chief Inspector, Sir Michael Wilshaw, is overseeing investigations after leaks in the media revealed 6 Birmingham schools face special measures. Counter-terrorism expert Peter Clark is also overseeing inquiries at the Department for Education. And a Birmingham City Council inquiry will be headed by former Coventry headmaster Ian Kershaw. The Birmingham MP Khalid Mahmood is concerned this will all cause confusion and delays.
It's totally haphazard, and at the moment there's no working with anybody at all. You got 3 lead members on this. You got Peter Clark, you got Sir Michael Wilshaw, and you got the local authority doing something different. So unless they're coordinated, it will take a lot of time and effort to try and put it together. And then at the end, the report will not marry up because it will not give you a single conclusion. So there'll be different conclusions coming out of different things, and then you're going to try and put them all together to try and move forward for the schools. So it doesn't give a clear objective for the schools, and more importantly, it doesn't allow the parents to decide where they're going to be sending their children to come September. And that's the most important thing, is that we need to get this in time so we can get those children in school and ensure the confidence of the parents and the community in doing that.
And what if the various inquiries reach different views? Who'll decide what's right and what's wrong? Keith Wilkinson, ITV News.
Well, the Department of Education said this evening it was investigating serious allegations in conjunction with Ofsted, the City Council and the police. And it was vital that the investigations were carried out impartially, and it would be inappropriate to comment further at this stage.
Meanwhile, tributes have been paid to a respected Muslim leader who was also on the City Council's panel investigating the Trojan horse allegations. Dr Mohammed Nazim, who was the chairman of the Birmingham Central Mosque, died this morning in the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Birmingham, aged 90. He was the central figure for Muslims in the Midlands, as well as working as a GP. He carried on his work representing the Muslim community right up until his death.
And the last time I saw him, that was about 5:30 last night in the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, and still he was discussing some issues regarding the Muslim community, particularly the Trojan horse issue. So you can imagine that until only a few hours before he passed away, he was still interested in all the issues.
His kindness, his compassion, his integrity, his sincerity, his honesty, and his hard work Those are the qualities by which I will always remember him.
Tributes being paid to Dr. Mohammed Nazim. A surgeon who blew the whistle on the overcrowding of post-operation patients at the hospital in Coventry has told ITV that given the time again, he would not raise concerns over patient care because of how it's affected his life.
Dr. Raj Mattu was suspended from his job for 5 years, that was 13 years ago, shortly after going public with information about how patients were being treated. In 2010, he went on sick leave due to stress and was sacked. Last week, a tribunal said he'd been unfairly dismissed. Lee Comley reports.
Dr. Raj Mattu was a well-respected heart surgeon working at Walsgrave Hospital in Coventry. In 2001, he exposed conditions that were affecting the quality of patient care, in particular the deaths of 2 patients who were in overcrowded hospital bays. In an interview with ITV's Daybreak this morning, Dr. Mattu and his wife spoke of how difficult the past 13 years have been and how it's changed their lives.
After I'd witnessed them putting patients at risk and patients dying, I actually witnessed patients dying, which I know at the other hospitals I'd worked at wouldn't have died.
It's been absolutely devastating. Over the last 13 years, we've effectively lost the prime years of our life. And during that time, Raj has been admitted to hospital on several occasions, and those were probably the most lowest points in our lives. And then we've also made we were forced to make a very difficult decision of not planning a family because of the stress and the consistent pressure that was on us over the last 13 years.
Knowing everything you know now, going back, would you still whistleblow?
I wouldn't recommend at the present moment, with the current state of affairs in the NHS, to encourage anybody to whistleblow.
In 2010, Dr. Mattu was sacked while on sick leave. And last week, a tribunal said he was unfairly dismissed. He's always maintained that his dismissal and suspension was down to his whistleblowing, something the tribunal agreed with. The Trust, in response to the tribunal's ruling, said that it was disappointed in the outcome and it will continue to support all its staff to raise concerns. For Dr. Mattu and his family, they're hoping to try and move on from what's happened. But he's now left with regrets of having spoken up for patients and raising concerns that may have saved lives. Lee Comley, ITV News.
Police have identified the body of a man who drowned in Walsall Arboretum's lake last week. 26-year-old Christopher Mills was seen getting into difficulty in the water at about 7:30 last Tuesday. Police officers tried to rescue him but couldn't reach him. Mr. Mills's body was recovered the following day. The death is not being treated as suspicious. 1 3/4 million of the poorest households in the country have seen their incomes cut as a result of welfare reform. That's according to a report out by Oxfam and the New Policy Institute. The report says that carers, single parents and the disabled are being pushed deeper into poverty.
In the West Midlands, 34,000 of the poorest households have been hit by the bedroom tax, meaning they're on average £14.50 worse off a week. Cuts to housing benefits have resulted in 35,000 households losing £7.30 per week. And cuts to council tax benefits mean that 170,000 households are having to pay around £2.60 a week in council tax. That's a tax they were previously deemed too poor to pay.
Well, David Wood has been to see one family which is struggling to make ends meet.
Tracy has less than £10 a week to feed her family. She saw a cut in her benefits when her partner started a part-time job. And changes to the welfare system mean the amount he was earning stops the family being entitled to certain benefits. And now they have to contribute to council tax bills, and that was money they used to spend on food.
What we would do is get our baby comfortable stuff and get our stuff cheap possible things.
And how did that make you feel?
Made me feel depressed. Made me feel low. My mood was really low because of it. Because you don't want to live like that. You want to live a comfortable life, not having to restrict things in order to live.
Tracy owes £900 to a social fund which she has borrowed from over the last 6 years to keep food on the table. And she is not alone struggling to pay her way. 1.75 million households have seen their income cut because of welfare reforms. while 400,000 have been pushed further into poverty by cuts to housing benefit or council tax support. And that means they lose, on average, £18 a week.
If you need to rely on state support, it should be there and it should be enough for you to live on. And actually what we're in danger of is that safety net being eroded, which is why it's really time to take an urgent look at what that support is and what it should be, so that people can meet all the rising costs that they're facing.
The government has responded to the report, saying the reforms are helping more people get back into work. The government spends £94 billion a year on welfare for working-age people, and it says these reforms are designed to make it fairer for both claimants and taxpayers, and says it's all designed to help the poorest in society. David Wood, ITV News, Westminster.
The Transport Secretary has been in Birmingham today inspecting the ongoing development of New Street Station. Patrick McLaughlin has taken a tour of the £600 million project, taking in the new concourse, atrium and access points. The redevelopment is part of a £38 billion investment in the railway network and is due to be completed in 2015.
When the station is finally open, people will see real improvements. They'll see sunlight on station platforms that's never been seen at Birmingham New Street Station before. I think it will make a tremendous difference to the city of Birmingham. And in the same way that people used to shun places like King's Cross and St Pancras, it will, I believe, become a destination in its own right.
You're watching ITV News Central. Still to come on the programme. And on stage, sing along with Gary Barlow, the head teacher who said she did it for her pupils.
And with an unsettled few days on the way, find out when and where we'll see that rain. See you in a few minutes' time.
Right, time now to have a look at the bank holiday sports news.
ITV Central Sports Report, sponsored by WeWantAnyCar.com, the Cash for Cars website.
And after just one season in League One, Wolves have not only won promotion back to the Championship, they've now confirmed themselves as champions.
Yes, elsewhere, West Brom were outclassed by Manchester City, and it's looking increasingly bleak for Birmingham. Michael Sibbett has the Easter Monday goals.
3 points wasn't enough to mathematically secure the title, but Kenny Jackett's side knew that it would all but guarantee they'd finish top of League One. Leyton Orient have got promotion ambitions of their own though. An early scare proved it was never going to be easy. Wolves did go ahead on 17 minutes, Richard Stearman settling any nerves with a headed finish, and 15 minutes later Bakary Sakho put them 2 up. He needed just one touch to find the back of the net. Orient were a constant threat throughout the game and got the goal they deserved after the break. A nervy second half continued, but right at the end of injury time, James Henry scored a goal of real quality to all but secure promotion. Full confirmation came later in the afternoon when this 93rd minute equaliser from NK Dons against Brentford meant Wolves could no longer be caught. In the Premier League, it was always going to be tough for West Brom against a Manchester City side fighting for the title. They were 2 down after 10 minutes. Pablo Zableta's close-range header secured the first. Sergio Aguero's second was from a bit further out. Soon after, West Brom got one back. Great feat from Graham Dorrans to turn the City defence inside out before slotting home. Any hope of a comeback was ended before the break though. A sloppy goal from West Brom's point of view. Martin Demichelis finding space in the box from a corner. They finished 3-1. Birmingham stay out of the bottom 3 on goal difference alone after a demoralising defeat against Blackburn in the Championship. They were 4-0 down at the break, including a hat-trick of headers from Rudy Gustade. They got 2 back in the second half. The first another header, this time from Nikola Zigic. The second a first senior goal from 19-year-old Demirari Gray. Derby had their place in the playoffs confirmed after Burnley's win ensured they couldn't be caught in second. Jeff Hendrick didn't know that though when he struck an impressive opener. The second came on 42 minutes from Johnny Russell's deflected shot. Barnsley did get one back after the break, and it was a nervy last 10 minutes, but Derby held on. This game probably won't feature in any end of season's award ceremonies. Johnson Clark Harris came closest with this free kick for Oldham. Coventry still need a win to ensure safety. Shrewsbury need a miracle now to stay in League One after being outclassed by Preston. An early header and a thumping volley put them 2 behind, but Sean Miller showed a cool head to get one back before the break. After the restart, Paul Gallagher scored all 3 of Preston's goals. Shrewsbury's only strike from Luke Summerfield was nothing more than a consolation. Port Vale played half the game against a Rotherham side with 10 men. Richie Smallwood sent off for this challenge on Billy Knott. They couldn't make the advantage count though. 10 minutes from time, Kieran Agard found the net to ensure Vale went home with nothing. Walsall went ahead in the second half against Gillingham. Craig Westcar's shot was beaten away only as far as Fabian Brandy, who found the net. That's how it stayed until 5 minutes from the end, when Adiak Fenwa's neat ball found Cody McDonald, who made sure the points were shared. Cheltenham ensured their survival with 2 goals against Mansfield. Both came in the second half from Jamie Curitan, his first on 57 minutes from close range. The second a neat chip after a defensive error. Cheltenham can still finish in the top half. Burton's dream of automatic promotion is hanging by a thread after failing to pick up 3 points against Newport. They were behind after just 5 minutes after Andy Sandell's powerful strike. The equaliser came from the penalty spot. Dominic Knowles brought down by Darcy Blake and Michael Symes ensuring Burton a point.
On to rugby, and this summer England's women's rugby team will be aiming for World Cup success in France. Heather Fisher, who plays for Worcester, is in the squad.
As part of their training, they've been taking on a very different challenge, a Royal Navy assault course. Andrew Pate went along to find out how they fared.
With just 4 months until the Women's Rugby World Cup, it's time for team building and bonding, Royal Navy style.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Right, go, go, go. Up the hill, up the hill.
Each obstacle teaches the players something different. For instance, you can only climb over the wall with the help of somebody else. So, it's the ultimate in teamwork. Perfect preparation ahead of the World Cup. The squads come to HMS Collingwood because they want to be as ready as they possibly can for the World Cup in Paris.
I've already seen a change in the teams from their arrival first thing this morning. They're confident, they're communicating better, and I think they're great assets once you're on that playing field, especially when you've got that sort of 10 minutes to go and you really need to dig deep, because in order to win the World Cup they need to be able to pull out all those sort of extra assets.
Good going. Good going.
The players made it through the assault course, mainly unscathed, and determined to take the lessons they've learned out onto the pitch.
You learn a lot about people off the field that can, you go through tough times here and help each other out, and that definitely brings us closer together when we're on the field. And it might not be going right for us, but we can pull it together and get the results.
Things we did in the course then we wouldn't be able to do this morning, but we just learned through communication and listening to each other, the bigger characters listening to each other as opposed to being the one who talks out all the time. It's massively important, and on a pitch you can't have everyone talking, so you've got to be able to listen as well as talk,
The team now feel they're ready for whatever the World Cup throws at them. Andrew Pate, ITV News.
Well, we'll take a breather while Mary Nightingale tells us what's in the national and international news.
Moyes makes way at Manchester United as he pays the price for 10 months of failure. The so-called chosen one was sacked this morning. Ryan Giggs takes charge until the end of the season. Nigel Farage defends UKIP's latest poster campaign against claims it's offensive and racist. And Kate and William prepare to spend a night under the stars at Ayers Rock. Those stories and more with Alistair Stewart and me at 6:30.
Now, a Midlands head teacher has appeared on stage with the pop singer Gary Barlow and says she staged the entire thing to inspire her pupils.
Angela O'Brien, the principal at Wyndham Primary Academy in Derby, has been mad about Gary Barlow for 20 years. So she booked 2 front seats at his concert and tweeted him with the hashtag anything is possible so that she'd get up on stage.
Well, she says the idea was to show the children that if you have a dream, you can make it happen if you try hard enough. Her friend videoed the whole thing and Angela says she will use it during a school assembly.
Well, even though Angela was doing it for her pupils, it does rather look like she managed to enjoy herself.
I think she enjoyed herself. So did Gary Barlow, and no doubt the pupils will as well when they see it over and over again. And you can see more of that video if you go to our website. Just go to itv.com/central.
And there'll be a few people, I think, who are rather envious of her, actually, I'm sure.
Yes, I do like the hashtag, though, anything.
Including, maybe,
can
I think,
happen.
Lucy Kite. Here she is with a forecast.
A short break, whatever the weather. ITV Local Weather, sponsored by CenterParcs.
Hello, I hope you've had a lovely day. I'm afraid the weather is looking rather unsettled as we head through the rest of this week with low pressure taking control. We're all going to see a spell of rain, some really heavy downpours to come. So as for the rest of this evening, 1 or 2 showers possible, but they'll gradually ease to leave us with a dry night with patchy clouds and temperatures not dropping too low, 7 or 8 degrees Celsius. We hold on to the light winds as well. Tomorrow morning then, some sunny spells to come through the morning, but the cloud building all the time ahead of a band of rain that's moving in our direction. So clouding over a little bit in the afternoon with some heavy downpours to come, especially for western parts of our region. Light winds as well, so the rain really slow moving. And then that rain will shift north and eastwards, covering the rest of our region through tomorrow night, hanging around for the first part of Thursday. See you later.
ITV Local Weather, sponsored by CenterParcs.
And just trying to recap our top stories tonight on ITV News Central. Midlands MP Khalid Mahmood has described the various investigations into allegations of a plot by hardline Muslims to take over schools in Birmingham as haphazard.
A surgeon who blew the whistle on overcrowding at a hospital in Coventry has told ITV that he would not raise concerns over patient care again because of how it affected his life.
And a quick look ahead to tomorrow's programme and to a big celebration of William Shakespeare, because it's 450 years since he was born.
It certainly is, and the Midlands is his place of birth. So we'll be taking a look behind the scenes at the preparations for the big celebrations which are taking place at the weekend.
And that's it from us. I nearly said on this Monday evening. It feels like Monday, doesn't it? But of course it is Tuesday all day. That's it from us, from Sam, from me, from all the gang here. Have a good evening. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.